I'm your host, Biko, alongside Pretty Rider, Illinois Jones. And as always, we bring you guys the illest guests from around the city and globe. And today, we got my homie D2X in the building. You know, we got to make it loud for you, man.
It's been some years.
It has?
Yeah, it's been some years. Like 2019. Summer 2019.
I feel like we like the bad cousins that you only see
2021
at the barbecue.
You remember that date?
Yep.
Wait, say that date?
No, I'm saying it's 2019, summer 2019, but now it's 2021. And it's like 2020 felt like it ain't even.
It was a blink of an eye.
I still feel like 2020.
It feel like it was really like 2019 to 2021. Like,
I feel like 2020 part two. Like, I don't know.
2020 was a year.
Yeah, it was.
And it definitely felt like a year that flew by, and it still feel like we in that year in a way. I'm glad to have you back, my brother.
Yeah,
you
I like being around y'all family.
You've been busy too. You've been
trying.
Yeah,
I've been trying.
Is an understatement.
Yes, it is.
Because it's like honestly, just 2020 was a year like I really had to figure things out. Really just had to adapt to how the world was like changing, especially from really like with the music industry and even being independent and just trying to come up and figure out new ways to keep people engaged, because we didn't have live shows. We really ain't have that much time or even like the ability to even meet people face to face. So that was a challenge for me. Mm-hmm. And now we here now. And yeah, I'm kind of thankful that I found like a way to get through it.
So I mean, you spoke on challenges. I mean, let's talk before we jump into things. Let's talk about some of these challenges you faced in 2020. With the pandemic taking place, and then you still doing what you can to stay consistent on the artist level. So what were some of those challenges that the outside world didn't see that you was dealing with?
Honestly, just maturing, but also at the same time, I think really figuring out what I wanted to do with, the next step in my career. Because last time, before everything slowed down, we had the show in December at the end of the year, the end of the decade show, which was fun. But right after that, coming into the new year, everybody got expectations, everything, all right, it's a new step. Then we get hit with, COVID and things shutting down and stuff like that. So it was a period for me that obviously it was overall it was challenging, but it was a learning experience for me because it gave me time to really sit down and think and figure out new ways to, put even an extra push to my career. So overall, at that time I was still finishing up, graduating from Western Illinois, which I got my degree.
Shout out
July.
To you.
Yeah. But other than that, the hardest part was trying to really just grow up and be a man, because while I was at school, I wasn't working no job. All I was doing was just going to class, focusing on music, stuff of that nature. So as I graduated, everything in life just hit. You becoming an adult, and
they everything you out into the wolves.
Money, having to pay towards certain things, just certain responsibilities that I didn't even have to worry about while I was at school.
Now,
but it made me better.
It made you mature much faster once you graduated. Now, I mean, I don't think we touched bases on a degree that you received.
Broadcasting and journalism, and my minor was music business. So they both went hand in hand. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot, but the music business was the stuff I really cared about a lot. Yeah, those was fun, and I still got my my business book, so I learned a lot about contracts and stuff like that. I still really need to read it, which I will, but yeah, I still got it at home. So from class, yeah.
Now you said after graduating, you faced some additional challenges.
Yeah.
Was the challenge mainly revenue for you, or was it just learning how to stay on your feet after college? When you're not doing so much in college.
It was that, and musically as well, because literally to start out 2020, I had no music on file. I always wrote stuff, but I just basically didn't have anything. So from the start of 2020, I know I dropped this song called "We" that I made about my wife. But at the time, I was just in the studio just testing something out, experimenting, trying to try different things. Really, I was trying to get in the mode of making music that had more of a substance to it, because at the time, like 2018, late 2018, 2019, I'm sure that most people that was kind of new to my sound knew me from making music that, that was like hype and fun and stuff like that, which is cool. But like it's like at the same time, it's like I just wanted to show people that I have more to offer with my sound, and I want to, like, my main purpose to make music is to help and impact lives, and one day come back, when I get to wherever I want to go in life, come back and help the kids and things of that nature. So that was the most challenging part in 2020, was figuring out what did I want to do with my art and where I wanted to push my sound. So like I said, I didn't have any music on file at all. Like, I went through a deep period of writer's block for 8 months. It took for me to like record again. The first song I did record 2020 was the joint with Wimmy, the Moppers and Choppers joint, when we dropped the video. But before that, I had nothing. And when like the lockdown came, it taught me like I need to have like better preparation pulling out the year, because I always want to start the year off strong and go from there. So I had nothing else but that, and I had no other photo shoots. I had one little photo shoot that I had, and like I was trying my best to come up with ways to like, what do I do next? So that's when I started doing the freestyles.
Gotcha.
Started doing the freestyles because I'm at the crib. I'm like, I ain't got a haircut in months. I'm in there trying to figure things out. And then that's when I also started getting like more engaged with my Twitter because at first I was always just using Instagram.
And you know what? We gonna talk about that, man. I'm gonna get into a music break. I'm gonna actually take it back to the D2X I met, because this The Color Blue album is definitely a different you, different sound. You sound more you and relaxed. But we gonna take it back for the fans, man. We gonna get in the whoop 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 woody whoop. Introduce this joint one time for everybody, man.
This joint was whoop whoop with me, featuring Glowhine, produced by Glowhine Beats. I dropped this one in 2018. It's the first song I ever got on like radio. So
shit.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out the iLLANOiZE playlist, in which we provide you with the latest tracks we play live on our show. Head over to Spotify and search iLLANOiZE Radio to follow our playlist, as well as follow our podcast. Now let's get back to the show.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Riot, and I'm sitting pretty starting riots here on iLLANOiZE Radio. But before the break, we was chopping it up with D2X, and you said something that really stuck out to me, and I don't know, like, if y'all was just gonna let that fly over y'all head, but you said you had writer's block for 8 months.
Ooh, that's a long time.
Okay, because I do a little bit of writing here and there, you know. I've had writer's block, but never for 8 months. That's a baby. So, like, how did you overcome that? Like, or not even just how did you overcome that, but like, what do you usually do when you overcome writer's block? Because I feel like that's something that every writer, every creative runs into.
Honestly, like, that's when I started just doing the freestyles, because trying to make my own music, like, it was just getting like very, very like difficult. And then like, I don't know, back when I first started rapping, like, I really go on like YouTube and like listen to beats and stuff like that. But at like nowadays, like, if I'm on there too long trying to listen to something just to get inspiration, like, my head start hurting, or because it's like I'm not liking exactly what I want. And
what's the most? Oh, I'm sorry, just random. I didn't mean to cut you off. What's the most unpleasant part about making music?
Most unpleasant part?
It's for you.
Yeah, like, I know it's different for everybody, but that just popped in my head.
Honestly, that's a good question. No, I think about it. I think it's the mental aspect, because like, you could be doing so well, but if you just get a little bit of like discouragement or like let overthinking like take you over, like, you will literally just start like forgetting all of the blessings that you have, and like you always just focusing on like this one thing, or you want this one thing to go right, or you want this one opportunity, or not even just opportunities, like as far as like getting some type of look from somebody, but even like your own creation, like you want certain things to go this way or that way, because every day you're not gonna write like the best line, or you're not gonna make the best song, or you might not even have nothing to even think about today. So dealing with like the pressures of like knowing that it's gonna be like, peaks and valleys with making music is, to me, is the hardest thing to deal with, because it's like your expectations could be different from what like your reality is, and you got to learn how to stick it through. And that's the hardest part, is trying to stay like mentally like stable throughout, like, you know, like the troubling events that come along with. Like,
yeah, I actually love that answer. So, like, since you talk about, like, just, like, mental stability, like, what are some of the ways you do that as an artist and, like, also just as a black man, considering, like, the climate of the world right now? Like, not to take it too deep or anything like that, but, like, that's our reality. You know, you're just more than just an artist. Like, you're a black man, too, at the end of the day. So, like, it's a lot that you have to do to kind of keep your mental space together. So, like, what are some ways you do that as an artist?
Like, just not try my best not to think about like whatever was causing me some sort of difficulty, and if that's music, then I just kind of like put it down and go spend time with, you know, focusing on stuff that's even more important than creating, is spending time with my wife and spending time with my daughter and going places and, you know, just having fun, because, you know, just getting out the house and getting fresh air and not being so closed in all the time. Like, isolation also causes a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. You in your thoughts all day. So just getting around people that care about you, that love you, and just spending time, like, just living life and not thinking about career all the time. Like, then when you get back into career mode, it's gonna help you, because now you've expanded, you know, your mental, and that's is important. You gotta just sometimes just not be focusing on, like, you know, music all day and spend time with your family.
You human too.
Friends, you know. So.
I mean, congrats on the engagement too. Yeah. I heard you say wife, daughter.
Yeah, we've been married since November. So.
Oh, that is so cute. Congratulations.
With COVID taking place, were you all able to put together, you know, I guess a wedding that you all would like to have?
we didn't have a wedding, but we plan on doing one. But we kind of just did it our own way, going through the court and getting everything situated, because we looked at it more like on a spiritual level. You know, if we love each other, we need to get this done now and move forward. We definitely plan on doing a wedding one day, but as of now, you know, it was more so deeper than that. Like,
what's it? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but because I'm nowhere near married. So, like, you just hopped out of college. So, like, what's it like to be fresh out of college? You know, like, I feel like you just walked into a whole new life. You know, you fresh out of college, you get married. That's beautiful. But, like, do you feel like that's like added pressures along with everything else that you have going on?
No, but I did at one point was like overthinking it, just like I overthink everything, and I feel like that's literally a part of like changing my life. Like, I overthink about the stuff that's gonna help me, and that's the weird thing. So it's like, even with that, like with us, you know, getting together and making that commitment, like I was kind of like overthinking it, but realizing like, you know, this is exactly what I want to do, but it's also what's needed, you know. Back in my past, like just thinking about how I used to be like in high school, and just, you know, entertaining certain stuff that I shouldn't have entertained. Like it was a maturity phase. Like it's time. Like, you know, my wife been here since day one. Ever since we was just like talking. We wasn't even officially in a regular relationship. Like, she was there since day one, helping me grow. And now it's like we've grown over time. It's like, why wouldn't you commit to somebody that's literally fully invested into your career, fully invested in you into as a person, fully invested into your future, and now, you know, from the way you dress to the way you talk to people to the way you treat others to everything. She handles so much stuff that goes on like with me. So I'm gonna commit to her for the rest of my life.
My brother, look, I gotta ask you, bro. How old are you?
23.
Damn. Damn. Look, oh Lord. Look at I'm saying this because I'm older. I'm older, and to hear you say you're 23 and you're so mature, man, that's dope. It's a lot of people that's in their 20s, they ain't thinking about marriage.
That's right.
And you know, they may have the girl of their dreams, or they may have a girl they really like, but they ain't think about marriage. And for you to take that step, that just shows how mature you truly are. And my brother, I salute you on that. Wow. You know, we got to get into another music break after that, my brother. We got a couple joints in here from you too, but I'm gonna let you actually go through. We got a Day Job. Matter of fact, we're gonna talk about Day Job because that was the first single that you released off of your album, The Color Blue. Let's talk about Day Job because it was a smooth record. When you released it, I already had a feeling of where you was coming from with this album. So, you know, break down Day Job to everybody and let them know why specifically, you know, you put your soul into that and making it that your debut single.
Honestly, like the full story of that everything that inspired that record came from a time where like my wife was like literally just going crazy, like treating the life out of me, you know, in a good way though. But she was just on me because it's like I was graduating school and I wasn't moving fast enough to realize like what my necessities is and what's important for me, you know, as a man to help, you know, myself, but also help us, you know. So I wasn't working, and I wouldn't even like really. I don't even think at the time. This was like last summer, so I don't even think at the time I was even like trying my hardest to even get a job. So she was on me about that, and I had like a video shoot the same day, and the way like basically that all connects together because I was kind of stubborn. I was at the point like, man, I just want to go hard with my music and just let it be that. And when that make me some money, I'm going to just do that. I don't want to work no 9 to 5.
She was on that ass.
And, you know, like I remember y'all had like a post before a few years back about that. Like, should you work a job as, you know, a musician and stuff like that? And like, you know, everybody got, you know, they different opinion or they different outlook on it. But I look at it as like, if you want something so bad, you're going to do whatever you got to do to get it. And I'm not finna let nobody tell me what I can't do and what I can and not do about how I want to go in my career. Even if I had 10 kids and I had bills to pay, I'm still going to make it work with music, period. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I look at it. I'm always going to find a way. So with that being said, you know, that motivated me and let me know, like, okay, I could balance this. It's not that hard. So after that, after she, you know, basically, you know, was telling me about myself and I took it all in, constructive criticism, I applied for like 100 jobs and I got like probably like 10 jobs hitting me back like the next day, and I finally started working. It helped me fund my career. It helped me pay for studio time, paying producers and stuff like that. So all it did was help me. And I recorded the most songs I ever recorded in the span of 5 months by doing it. And that's how I made the album. So
shout out to your day job, dude. I mean, man, you know what? After this music break, we definitely finna chop it up about the Color Blue album, because hearing you say that lets everybody know that's listening. Look, if you're an artist out there and you got a job, keep your damn job. Don't just quit your job because you want to start the music career. You need to fund your music career, and we're going to chop it up more with D2X about that. So here's Day Job off of his debut album, The Color Blue. Y'all keep it locked. We got
the iLLANOiZE app is available now on Apple and Google Play Store. Download the app, get the latest news, stream our podcasts, watch interviews, and listen to iLLANOiZE Radio live. Download the app right now.
You're tuned in to iLLANOiZE Radio. I'm your host, Biko, and we got a dope guest in the building. We still got D2X in the building. How you feeling, my brother?
I'm all good, relaxed.
Now, hey, you should be. I mean, hey, this has been a very, I would say, interesting conversation, man. And you know, you recently released your debut album, The Color Blue. But before we get into The Color Blue, there's a person that's been a huge influence to your career, and you know, as of today, through social media, we've all learned that DMX is in a hospital due to an overdose, and he's actually off of what they call that. He's breathing on his own now. I mean, let's speak a little bit about DMX and how he actually contribute to inspiring your music career.
He really inspired the simple fact of like my rap name, because I was, you know, basically putting my two initials together.
I'm sorry. That was like a. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like it gave me comfortability to do something that, you know, that was like different, and you know, because I could have called myself Lil this or Lil that or whatever people be calling themselves, but when I said D2X, I'm like, okay, I got to stick with this for the rest of my career, because you know that's what people gonna know me by. And when I thought about DMX growing up listening to his music, I'm like, okay, I felt comfortable doing it, and this was somebody I was influenced by. So, you know, just for the simple fact that he was always real, and he was always, you know, while he was really like in his time of being like one of the biggest artists out in the world, you know, DMX was always like spiritual in his music, and like his song Slippin', which is one of his biggest songs ever, is my favorite song by him. So, you know, that kind of gave me like clarity, like, okay, I could do this and I could stick with this name.
Who put you on the MX music?
And I grew up on everything. I don't even know. I feel like it started probably just listening to music as a kid with my uncles just playing everything. But if I could think all the way back, like when I was like 3, I remember Get Rich or Die Trying.
You was 3?
50 Cent CD. My sisters and them had it on a CD. I remember I was a big Lil Bow Wow fan.
I said
the biggest Lil Bow Wow fan.
What?
Who else? DMX for sure. Tupac, Biggie, and then as I got older, I started learning more and more about old 90s hip hop, and that's basically like one of the biggest inspirations that helped me like with my music. So.
Wow, that man, I had to bring that up. Matter of fact, sending out prayers to DMX and his family. We all are hoping that he pulls through. So far, he's doing good, breathing on his own. I got hip to DMX at a young age too. Yeah. Shout out to Maurice for putting me on, because I remember cruising in the Jeep, and he was definitely playing nothing but DMX. I'm in there feeling like a thug. I thought I was a thug, but either way though, let's talk about social media a little bit too, because social media, I feel like in a way has helped fuel your career. Yeah, like you're consistent on there. You definitely have a supportive system on all your social platforms. Yeah. So do you feel like that also helped you with preparing this album?
Yeah, it did, because of the simple fact that I felt like, when COVID first started going on with the pandemic last year, I started just thinking about kind of like setting a bar higher for myself as far as like trying to utilize my social media a bit more differently. Because I remember like years ago, all I really used, like for example, what I used Twitter for was mainly like promotion all day long. And once I started to, just grow as a person, I wanted to start to, change things up a bit. I genuinely just want to help people every day, and everything that I go through in my life, I apply just a little bit of what I got going on to help other people. And it always make me feel good to see other people, share or hit me up every day, whatever the case may be, to know that, it's other people out here dealing with the same thing. So, I'm all about positivity. I'm all about, helping others, and through my music and also through the things that I say, because words also have a huge impact on others. And I think that all comes from a simple point that it was plenty of times in my life where I dealt with depression and anger and waking up mad all the time, like at the world,
Why?
And,
like, what was it that led you to feel that way?
I just feel like I've always been the type of person that, especially growing up, I've gotten so much better, but always worrying, always overthinking, always.
Your birthday.
Scorpio, October 29th.
Yeah, and you're October Scorpio.
So it was just like I always had, just problems dealing with, trying to mature my emotions, and what better way to, overcome even my own personal issues by helping other people. That always make me feel well. So
now, on your short documentary that you put out, which looks like a Nike commercial, that bad boy is, and that's a compliment, by the way. I mean, the short documentary, it touched me, and you said a few things too. And I believe in a recent cover you did with Swed Life, I want to say, you spoke on like how this album is about finding yourself. Yeah. What have you found, within yourself that nobody else may have known would come from a D2X?
Yeah, that I'm capable of impacting the world. I know I am, and I've always been about that since I was like in middle school, as a kid. And like honestly, like I'm gonna just set the record straight. I feel like, years back I was kind of falling off course just for the simple fact that certain people I had around me, certain things, about how like life was just going years back, that I was just realizing like, sometimes like people might not even try, but they kind of at the same time subconsciously is like taking you away from your purpose. And that's why, like I said, like when I met my wife, she helped me realize like what's really special with me, because you only gonna get far in this business by being yourself and being 100% confident and connected to what makes you and what makes you like the best you. And you can't just be going out just doing any type of thing. And it's like people see that. People see authenticity. People see, people that's really being themselves, and that's really how you get support. That's how you really get people to gravitate towards you and people be inspired by you. So I had to realize, like, who am I? Who is D2X? Who is me? Like the literal, like 100% true me. And I've always been the type of person that always wanted to uplift other people because, like I said, I've dealt with so much in my life where, it's like I'm done with those days of trying to be down. I want to uplift other people, and in return, that helps me. So, that's really what I learned the most about myself is that, like, I have the power and ability, and, really, like, I feel like, God gave me that gift to help other people. So that's my whole motto, and that's what I'm pushing.
Yeah, I really enjoy this album, man. As soon as it dropped, I want to say early in the AM. You saw that tweet come through.
Yeah.
I was
looking forward to it. I'm like, I'm ready for him to tune in.
I've been
talking about it forever.
I mean, I gotta know though, what's special about the color blue?
Yeah. Okay, I got a long explanation.
Because the color blue is my favorite color.
Yeah,
it's red now,
too,
but I mean, I still rocks with blue.
Okay, well, this dates back to 2019. I was trying to work towards a project for years, but it take a lot out of me to like fully like be confident in an idea in a plan. Like, okay, this is exactly what I'm gonna do, and we're gonna go forward with it. So it was just a lot of ideas bouncing. So like in my notes in my phone, I had like the color blue theory. Then I had the blue album, and I kept playing around with this color. But I'm like, okay, what is it about the color blue that's like really sticking out to me other than it being my favorite color? I think it's about the way it makes me feel. And then I start reading about the definition, and it deals with calmness. It also deals with depression as well.
I was just about to ask that.
I also just recently learned that it's also like connected to spiritual realization and like growth and all of that. And I'm like, man, that literally like connects to exactly how I'm feeling right now. So with that being said, I also look at music, which it is, it's an art form. So I was thinking like, okay, while I was even getting the cover done for the album, I'm like I'm really into like art and like other than just music, like art museums and theater and things of that nature. So I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm envisioning this album being like the cover being placed like on an art museum wall. And like when people see that, I want the music to play as like a soundtrack to this actual cover, and for them to feel the different shades of this color because it has so many different meanings. So I kind of applied that to emotions. We all have different shades and different variations of emotions. So I'm like, that's kind of how I went into that color. But adding on to that, the last part is I also did research on Pablo Picasso. Like I got a song on the outro called Picasso Blue, Thoughts from a Basquiat. That all comes from Picasso Blue had a blue period back in 1901 to 1904, which was all about tragic events that happened in his life. And his first painting was a painting of his friend like laying down in a coffin because he committed suicide. And that started. So basically how that correlates to the album was, if you really listen to the album, like it's kind of like a journal of my life. Me really writing about everything that I'm getting past and I'm getting over the hump with, my overthinking. Me not really knowing what I'm special at, and my past, and playing ball to now making music, and just trying to figure out what my purpose is. So this album is really like a diary for me to get over I'm talking about everything that I've been dealing with, the past few years. So
and
that's the meaning of it.
Speaking of the cover too, that you chopped it up about, in the cover you're seeing hooping.
Yeah.
And I gotta, you also spoke on that playing ball and music is the same thing.
Yeah.
You care to elaborate more on that?
Yeah. Really, because that was my correlation with. That was my correlation with like everything that I've dealt with, because before I started making music, 2016 on down, I was just playing ball my whole life, majority of my life. And moving on to music, it's like, okay, it's just the same thing because it's an opportunity with something that I'm, I feel like I'm gifted at and I'm confident with. So it's like only thing that's changed is me, my maturity. I've grown. I've learned a lot over the years from the old high school, teenage me to now a 23-year-old man with a wife and family. And, you know, I kind of correlated that together because it's like, okay, I got a fresh start now. I can remember where I came from, and that's why I went back to my old high school, walking around St. Rita on the 79th and Western.
The short documentary was shot there?
Yep.
Damn, you went
my
to St.
old
Rita?
classroom. That was like,
I was about to say
that's a
look,
Division
I
I
was
high
about to
school.
say we could talk about that off air. You went to St. Rita. I know a couple motherfuckers that went to St. Rita now. Okay.
yeah, in my old high school, it just felt good going back there because I always told myself, like, man, I'm never coming back here because of the simple fact that, you know, my career with basketball didn't go exactly the way I wanted to. Mainly, I could have kept going with it, but, you know, I was thinking long term, and I knew if NBA dreams wasn't something that was really in reach, if I was being realistic with myself, you know, I wanted to start fresh with something else. So going back there helped me, like, get so much motivation, like, to realize where I came from and where I got to, you know, do to keep going and not make the same mistakes I did when I was younger. So
what piece of advice would you give, you know, if you had to look back and give yourself a piece of advice then, you know, from now, like, what would you tell yourself? Like, during that time where you were kind of just, like, unclear about everything that you were going through, like, what advice would you give yourself now?
To never get too caught in the highs and lows. When stuff going good for you, don't get sunk and stuck in that. And you're going to have people, you know, cheering you on, like, bro, you next up, you doing this and that. You're going to be the biggest this and that. Don't get caught up in, like, praise and compliments and all that. And don't get
as an artist, do you really listen to the outside noise?
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, at the end of the day, as an artist, it's hard to, you know how we say, like, oh, like, don't care about what people think. But when you're creating for the people, it's impossible to not think about what they think. So how do you kind of, like, I don't know, like, differentiate the two between, like, you know, wanting to do stuff to, of course, appease your fans and appease your audience, but at the same time, like, not really caring what they think? Because I feel like it's a really thin line between that.
I feel like you won't have to worry about that, in my opinion, if you just put your best foot forward. And a lot of it, because if you try to calculate every move you make in life, you'll never be happy. And 9 times out of 10, when you overthink everything, that's when stuff just goes completely downhill. So I say, like, to anybody, like, just be calm with this stuff, man. Like, be calm with everything you're doing. You know, have a different approach to stuff, like, in a way where you're not over calculating everything you're doing. Just be calm with it. And that's what I had to learn. Because, like, when I was in high school playing basketball, like, I let everything, like, get in my head, like, from my coach yelling every day or bad practice that'll carry, and then having other things going on in my life, not being able to, you know, just be even mature enough to how to, you know, just really it's just growing pains, but being able to separate stuff that's going on outside of my life and not letting it get into my head going into practice, where it got to a point where, like, you know, I'm forgetting plays or I'm not going as hard as I can because I'm still dealing with all other type of stuff that's going on off the court. So I think what I've learned was truly just from that, and also from what I was saying in the short film, was basically it's just all about, like, kind of like just quietening out the noise from the praise to people talking down on you, or even thinking, you knowing certain people that might saying something about you. Mm-hmm. Just not thinking about nothing but getting, like, the task done at hand.
Now, you know, before we actually end things off and get into your single Adult Swim, dope single, by the way, featuring Romar Salez. Oh, my God. Y'all killed that.
Yeah.
We're going to get into a little, you know, a little background on that in just a second before we end off the show. But I got to ask you about Anthony Fantano, the Needle Drop. Yeah. I see you're pushing to get this album reviewed. Yeah. So, you know, if you could speak to Anthony and let him know why he should review this album, what would you tell him?
Yo, Anthony, you need to review The Color Blue. For the simple fact that we bringing something fresh to hip hop, and honestly, like, I grew up watching his reviews. That's one, like, it's certain things people don't know about me. That's one thing, like, I would love, like, to share is, like, I'm really into music reviews. Like, I always felt like if I wasn't like making music, I would love to be like a music critic or, you know, because that's what I went to school for, like journalism. So if I wasn't making music, that's what I would probably do. Like in another life, I'll probably be like a jazz musician. But those like the two little things about me that I would like love to do. But I don't know. I guess about like music reviews, I love the simple fact that how people break albums down and they like really engage with the music, because music is, you know, it's connected to life and everything you got going on. So I love and appreciate people that are like real like music fans, like, and I always been like that, because back in high school in class every single day, like me and my friends used to debate about which album is better than this album, or like, you know, that album not good or this artist not good. So we used to just talk about albums every day. Every Friday we used to wait on the album to come out and we used to just debate about it. So I'm like really into people that really just break down music, and it's like therapeutic for me to watch like somebody else breaking this album down, saying what's wrong about this and what's wrong about that. And that kind of helped me like create my own stuff. And so like when I was making this album too, like I had him in mind, like, man, if he review this, I know he gonna give me a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10.
He liked the tweet too.
Yeah, so
hopefully he see you. He see you, man. Not hopefully, so. You gotta speak it in existence.
Yeah. Well,
and let's see.
Room
for doubt.
He listened.
Just shove it down his throat.
Exactly.
That's what I say. Just force it on him.
Hey, we gonna do what we can to help Anthony get to this review. All right. Now, The Color Blue is out now.
Yeah.
You got Adult Swim, a single that we finna get into to end off the show. Break down Adult Swim, because I really like how you and Ro came together to put this song together. Like it got a really good feel good vibe.
Yeah.
It got like that dance flow type, you know, get to it. And then it also makes sense.
Yeah.
So can you break down Adult Swim, and also after that just let people know where they could find you and get in tune with you?
Adult Swim, that was produced by my guy Xander Miller he's from Montreal, Canada, I believe. Yeah, and he made that beat on his Instagram. He posts beats. His production name is Millwood. So he makes beats like all the time. He throw it on his Instagram and play it. And when I heard that, I'm like, okay. Because when I was thinking about my album, I wanted an album that had different types of production, because other than it, you know, being like really like a motivational thing for me to like show people that I could rap and make different types of vibes on all different types of like production. From like an artistic standpoint, I also wanted the album to like flow and it doesn't get overwhelming, and every sound is like refreshing and new. So with that joint, I'm like, okay, this is different. I want to show people that I could rap on something like this, because it's like I'm a fan of dance and house type vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And another inspiration from that too was like I'm a big fan of Mac Miller. You know, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
His joint on Swimming called "What's the Use" gave me that type of vibe, and I'm like, okay, this remind me of like Mac Miller, and I'm like, okay, I want to pay some homage too. I shouted him out in the song as well. So with that being said, I started writing to that, and I kept, as I was writing the song, I was thinking like of a hook in mind, and then after, you know, the part that I said like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then that other part came in where you hit Ro. Like I was thinking like, okay, this is the perfect person to have on this joint. And you know how I linked up with Ro, we was in tune for years, but we finally clicked up back in September at his studio, Feature Forum. And working with him like helped push my sound to another level, because I respect what he does for, you know, a lot of other Oka artists in our city that's family. And I'm like, okay, this is the next step. This is the guy that I really trust. And other than just the music, he's a genuine person. So I'm like, I want to have a relationship with people outside of the music, not even like on a buddy, but like,
that is beautiful.
If it's just about money and I'm just coming to pay and leave, you're not going to give me like
what you
the
want.
True like effort.
Really
and I'm like, okay, this is the perfect person to go to. So when I was like, you know, singing the song to him, and I'm like, okay, this would be perfect for you, how you on the hook. I'm like, I hear you on this. And, you know, we made it happen. So, yeah. So, yeah. I think that's a vibe to play, like, when you on vacation and stuff like that. So that reminded me of my trip I took to LA a few years ago. So
ain't nothing like music that bring memories, and this song definitely take me down like a memory trip too. I enjoy it, man. I enjoy the album as well. The Color Blue is out now. Let people know where they can follow you, and of course get in tune with you, and if you got any upcoming videos, things of that nature, drop and let them know.
But get me on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Bandcamp, Audio Mac, everything, and you can get me on social media at D2X underscore on Twitter, and at D2X underscore 4 underscores on Instagram.
All them damn underscores.
They didn't let me just put D2X.
Hey, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Of course, you can tune back in every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. You can give me a follow at Official Biko. That's Official B as in boy, EKOE. Download that iLLANOiZE app. Of course, we got everything on the app. Head over to iLLANOiZE.com. That's iLLANOiZE. And check out some content and Pretty Ride. What's good? Because you just released your website too, girl. Let the people know what it is.
Okay, because the Pretty Jack is kicking in. The Pretty Jack is taking over. So if you're watching this video right now, because I can't do it during break no more, you better download that iLLANOiZE app, because I'm not going to tell y'all. I'm not going to keep telling y'all. Y'all come back each and every week and y'all watch the whole interview until the end, until this point right now, and you ain't download the iLLANOiZE app. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Oh my gosh. So download that iLLANOiZE app, do that, and then while you're at it, make sure you head on over to prettyriot.co. I just relaunched my website. The Riot is coming. Honestly, she came, she showed up. So you need to go see the Riot, hear the Riot, feel the Riot right now on prettyriot.co. That's literally the website, prettyriot.co. Just tell me what you think. Like, it's so much content on there for me to start y'all off with. I'm just be quiet. Just tell me what you think. Hit my DMs about the blog and the blog only. The comments, you can flood them. You can interact. No, none of that. Okay, look. Just come engage with me. I have so much content coming. I know y'all been asking about 2 Pretty Pennies. That's coming back to one thing at a time. But I would say, Jones, what you on? But Jones ain't here, so party hard and party safe. And if you can't do both, stay your ass in the house.
And with that being said, we're going to end off the show with D2X Adult Swim again. The Color Blue album is out right now. Y'all can head over to iLLANOiZE.com as well to check that out. Make sure y'all add it to y'all preferred playlist, and we'll catch you next week. I holla.